It's National Novel Writing Month, day 2. Hi, I'm B.B.Saxon. I'm an aspiring author and it's day 2 of National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo. Today, going to talk about what I did yesterday, and I'm pleased to say that I hit my 1,667 word goal. I'm aiming to have an even word count every day, so it's not overwhelming at weekends. And I managed to get just over 1,700 words, so that gives me just a little bit of a leeway today if I need it. But I plan on just getting over consistently as I can, just in case I have a day where it's an off day and need a little bit of catch up. It was fairly uneventful. I always find it difficult to write when there's nothing really going on, but it's important in the start of a story to show the status quo of the character's current living situation and to see the problems with their life that they are going to fix in their overlying arc of the story. Because if you don't have the before, how are you going to appreciate the after, you know? So yeah, my character is fairly neutral at the moment. Nothing's really going on in their life. They're ready for something exciting to happen. So that's probably going to be the next few days of writing, which I do find a little bit boring, but necessary for me to get into the exciting bits. I found that writing under pressure, to write 1,600 to 700 words a day, has been difficult, just purely because my usual is about 1,000 words a day when I sit down and do 1 to 2 hours of writing. So I've really had to let go of the perfectionism that I'm so used to writing. I suppose exams have that kind of pressure where you have to write and edit when you're writing essays and answers under a time limit. So that's kind of put it in my head that I should always be thinking about what I'm saying, when really NaNoWriMo isn't really looking for that. They just want the words down for you, so then you can start that editing process at a later date. If you were editing at the same time, there's no chance you'd be able to finish this book in 30 days. So I've had to really let go of the just trying to make everything perfect and just getting those words down. And since I have ADHD, I'm pretty good at garbling and gabbling on, you may be able to tell. So it's actually coming all right now. So I'm hoping that this is the start of a good month and I can win. I thought today that I would continue to talk about my preferences and my likes, and what better way than to show you my favourite books that I've read. My first book is probably a very common favourite book for people. For good reason, it's as popular as it is. The Hunger Games. I absolutely love this series. I read it once or twice a year. Absolutely love it. I love the action, I love the revolutionary aspect to it, I love the underlying romance, I do like how it grows. I will say I wasn't a fan of the ending, but I get the ending, I understand why it happened, but I find that a lot of it was kind of like, well, what was the point of it all in a selfish aspect of it. I can't really say any more than that in case you live under a rock and you haven't watched or read this series. I highly recommend you read it because I do think Katniss is better represented in the book because she's very internal. She likes to think things through and it's just much more interesting. And that's nothing against Jennifer Lawrence. She's not telekinetic. She can't tell you what Katniss is thinking. She can only portray it behind her eyes, her acting skills. Short of just kind of having a narration over it, which would kind of lighten the tone, and the tone doesn't need to be light, it needs to be dark and edgy and angsty. There's nothing really Jennifer could have done more. I think she did a lovely job of acting as Katniss. It's just, it was a better format in a book for Katniss herself. I will say that the first 2 books are brilliant. The second one is my favourite. I love the 2 arcs to it. I love the action. I love that the film was so to the book. I'd read Catching Fire literally minutes before I went to see it, and it was nearly word for word. I think they basically took the script straight out of the book. So yeah, really well done. I really like that as an adaptation. But yeah, I'm an author authortube, not a movie reviewer, so I'll leave it at that. Go read The Hunger Games if you haven't read them already. Now, number 2 is lesser known, but you will probably know the writer. It's The Host by Stephenie Meyer, the Twilight writer. This was the book that she came out with after Breaking Dawn. You can see how much I've loved this book. I have peeled away at the plastic. The backside has completely lost its plastic, and I've read it so many times. The book is soft. Look at that spine. That has been read a lot. It's a big hefty book as well. For a YA novel, it's quite a big read. I will say it's slow going at first, but if you can just kind of bear with it, it's necessary slowness at the start. Once it gets kicking in, it does get really good. I do think that the kind of plot, the gimmick of the book is really interesting. I like the idea of, is it the body or is it the soul that loves someone? It's a very philosophical question that she explores in a YA kind of way. It kind of not dumbs it down, but brings it down to the level of a YA understanding. And it's a really nice exploration of that philosophy. Yeah, I think it's a really good book. I know that Twilight is a little bit problematic, and this one is too, if you really boil it down. Instead of 100-and-something-year-old boyfriend, we've got 1,000-year-old girlfriend happening in this. But she kind of addresses it in a way that I can kind of suspend disbelief. If you can look past that, it's a good book. I really do enjoy it, and I think I need to read it again because it's been a long time. I will say it's less action-packed than The Hunger Games, so if you're looking for something like The Hunger Games, this isn't it. But it does have action. It's just more romance heavy, and it's not as cringy as Twilight. I believe Stephenie Meyer said in an interview that she was thinking about writing a sequel and a trilogy, but whether it does, I don't know, because I don't think it got as much traction as was expected since she was a Twilight writer. And don't watch the film, it's absolute garbage. I've never been more disappointed in my life, other than the Avatar film, which we don't talk about. Now, if you're looking for something in between action and romance, one of my favourite series that I have only just recently finished is The Lunar Chronicles. I don't have the physical copy, I read it on my phone while I was at work, don't tell my boss. I'll put the picture here, woo! It's a really good series, it's well diverse, and I've actually got a review for it in the works. I just decided to postpone it until after NaNoWriMo since it came very quickly all of a sudden, and I couldn't get the review out in time. So yeah, look forward to that. I'm actually really excited about it, and yeah, so I'll go into more detail then. Now, if you're thinking, Bethan, those books are all years old, I need something new. Well, I've got a new book that I have just read, ready for Halloween, and it is Finding Where You Left Him Dead by Kirsten Simmons. She is a really wonderful writer. I've never read anything by her before, but I will certainly be looking into something else that she's written. It's a horror young adult book, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I will say that I wasn't scared, and I'm a real tit when it comes to horror things. I can't watch any horror films or anything like that. I won't sleep for weeks. I played Until Dawn on the PlayStation and then dreamt about Wendigos for about a month and a half after. So if you're a bit of a wimp like me, this is safe to read, I would say. It was gory. I wouldn't even say gory. It was unpleasant in times, but it was nothing that I was kind of aiming to throw my book into the freezer like Joey from Friends, you know. I wasn't frightened. But I suppose it's a YA novel. It's not supposed to be a psychological thriller that's going to keep you up at night. It was a good book, and it was a nice read for Halloween. Obviously it's not Halloween anymore, but if you still want to read it, I highly recommend it. There we go. I would say I don't think it's a book that I'm going to be rereading, and in terms of my scale of my ratings, I tend to go by did I read all of it, and then will I read that again? And I would say that yes, I read it all. I wanted to know the ending, but I don't think it's going to be something that I reread every year at Halloween, you know? Not saying it's a bad book, just hasn't got the rereadability. I think that happens a lot with horror books because there is the fear of the unknown that makes it scary. So I don't think it's anything that Kristen did wrong. I just think that that's kind of the nature of horror books. It's just, it loses that edge when you know what's going to happen. So yeah, definitely give it a read if you're thinking about it. So that's it for my book favourites and recommendations. I have decided that possibly I will not be doing daily videos for NaNoWriMo. I may now stretch them out to be more of a weekly situation, maybe less, I'm not sure yet. Just it's kind of a little bit too much to try and write all those words and then also film myself, then edit it, then get it out there. I don't have a team, I'm doing this all by myself, so yeah, it's all a little bit too much and I don't think it's necessary when I'm only just starting out. I think maybe just kind of filming myself every day still to track my progress, and then carrying on to amalgamate all those days all into kind of a weekly basis, a little bit of a touchdown to show you where I'm up to, and hopefully it'll be a longer, more interesting video. So that's it for me today. I am really pleased with how I've been getting on today, and I'm going to go away, I'm going to go make dinner for me and my fiance, and then I'm going to do my 1,700 words for the day. So wish me luck, and I will let you know soon how far I'm getting. See you! Once again, thank you so much for joining me on this video. I really appreciate you watching to the end. Pop in the comments anything that you would like to talk about. Have you got a work in progress? Tell me all about it. I really want to know what it's about. If you want to add me on NaNoWriMo, I am B.B.Saxon over there, and you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok as well if you'd like to. Come and join me. It'll be fun. See you!